we have got the full, pretty much, Fire and Ice team leaks now, and we've got the Flashback player that we saw that was going to be, you know, coming yesterday. We have the player for that leaks now as well. Market's falling still again. We'll talk about, you know, everything we need to in this video. Of course, I'll say quickly, Sessignon I did complete, and I really like not played with him yet, honestly. His 5/5 version. This is what his card does look like if you have not done like his evolution chain. It does look very good. If you guys want to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. The link is in the description. Use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. I won't end up using Anchor on him, but he just had that from, you know, what I had on him before. Got Incisive Pass and Rapid Finesse Shot, Whipped Pass. Really good playstyles actually on him. And I did Kai Havertz as well. One, because he's actually really good, it feels like, when I play against him. And two, I can swap him in game to play him at left back and Sessignon in the midfield. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know if I like Sessignon tomorrow, but I'm excited to try him out. And I also want to say with this video that it might end up being a little bit more ranty because, again, today the content was really bad. And it feels like, you know, with the end of these promos, I mean, there's just nothing going on. I mean, there's literally nothing going on. And I know that it's hard because there is a lot to do in the game right now, like on objectives, right? There is a lot to do if you have not done all the stuff. Like, I'm in the minority that I've done most of the objectives, the playing objectives. Like, I've already done the winter draft play. I've already done weekly theme team pursuit. I've not done the rivals bonus yet, which is just like a pain, you know, sometimes, but to play rivals. But, you know, I haven't done all of them, but I've done most of them, which I think most people probably haven't done. But at the same time, the end of these promos just feel like they aren't doing shit. I mean, they literally don't care. Past, like, you know, the upgrade pack day on Monday, the promo was basically over. This happened with Winter Wildcards, and it really happened all the way since, I believe, like, after Thunderstruck. And if you remember, Thunderstruck was, like, insane content for 2 straight weeks every single day. I think the reason that they were doing that was because they needed to get people back on the game a little bit, but they're just doing nothing with the end of these promos, it feels like, and I don't understand why. It's like Monday happens, and now it's just like, okay, hype up the next promo, hype up the next promo. Well, it's like, we have 4 days of this one left. Like, we can't have some good stuff after Monday. I don't know. Let me know what you think, and if you agree or don't agree. John Stones came out, CDM 6'2", medium high. He's got block plus, which is okay. It's probably one of the worst, I think, defending ones, and I say that because I have Lucio, and I don't actually notice Lucio's blocking being better than like Van Dijk's. Honestly, I don't notice that. I remember there was one time this weekend where Lucio, I think in one game, had 3 goals go directly through him. So does it really help block plus? It probably helps you randomly sometimes, but not like a ton. And John Stones looks fine. I don't think you know, he's not the most insane card ever. I'd probably like to work towards a bigger icon than do John Stones. That's probably what I would say. But all right, let's talk about some leaks. So that Flashback player that we saw that was going to be coming out is going to be Raheem Sterling. I've always thought Sterling has been pretty good in FIFA. Now, I wonder what his playstyle plus is going to be. You think it might be like quick step? You think it could be technical plus? And I wonder what they're going to make him. But yeah, he's coming out as a Flashback, and it's actually been a while since we had a Flashback, so it's about time, I want to say. Let's look at the Fire and Ice leaks. We got Bobby Firmino coming in the promo, and once again, they only show 1 card here, but I'm assuming they'll have 2 versions, 1 Fire, 1 Ice. That's what the promo was 2 years ago. I'm assuming that will be the same thing, especially because the loading screen today pretty much confirmed it's called FC Versus, which is the exact same. So it'll be the same promo most likely, and everything besides now playstyles might change, right? Because obviously those are different this year. Upamecano is coming in the promo as well. French center back, always a good pack seller, you know, get those French flags in there, and, you know, EAC dollar signs. We got Alvaro Morata. Okay, might be one of the lower rated ones. Once again, still waiting to hear what the differences will be. I don't know how we haven't heard this yet. I'm sure they know it and they just haven't leaked it, but I am quite curious. We got Sergio Ramos coming in the promo team. Okay, you know, apart from Son and Neymar, you know, Firmino we talked about, obviously it hasn't been too exciting. You know, you gotta say, it really depends on what these cards will look like. Here in Trippier there we saw already. Danny Olmo is a new card that we've not seen yet, so it just depends what these cards will look like, because the players are not, you know, too insane, which is fine. It really just depends on what these upgrades and these cards look like, because the promo team doesn't need hyped players, but the promo has to be good still, so we'll see about that. And today is the last day on this calendar for SBCs. It is David Trezeguet, who's probably going to be like a center mid or some bullshit. I don't know what, but he probably won't be a striker, going off of what they've done with every other fodder icon that they've done here. But it'd be nice to have a good Trezeguet, you know, at striker. At least maybe I'm being too picky, like I've I've been saying, but I don't know. We'll see when it comes out, I suppose. I thought this was kind of interesting. If you had to pick one, but it meant you couldn't use any version of the other for the rest of the game, who would you pick? And it's funny because you would think this wouldn't really be a debate, but the majority of the people that like in the comments were like, actually, I kind of want to say Virgil van Dijk. I feel like Mbappe is easier to replace than VVD. He has something no other defender has. And I don't know if I'd go that far, but there is some truth to like take. I think you could actually make an argument for both sides here. I'm not kidding. Mbappe is a god this year. I'd probably go Mbappe, but VVD, I don't know what they do to this card. I don't know if it's the aerial. I don't know if it's just the height combination with the pace. I don't know what it is, but the VVD every year is a joke. Here's a legit concept on what the women's team of the year possibly could be, because there's a couple players like Putellas and Hansen that have been hurt for like the majority of the year and they didn't play. So this is more of like a realistic team actually. Bomonti's a guarantee, we know, and I think Diani is like a really close to a guarantee. So let's actually zoom out. It will look something like this probably here. Sam Kerr, Rolfo would be ridiculous. Bright, Oberdorf, Illistedt, Earps, Pop, Haran, and Carpenter. I do wonder, like, if Bomonti comes out and, you know, she has technical and tiki-taka plus there, I think they're going to give them a little bit more meta ones, like not tiki-taka, but technical and finesse shot. Or Diani has Trivella and quick step. That's pretty meta. I think they're going to go all out for team of the year. I could have egg on my face and it's like shitty, but I think that when they freaked out earlier in the year about, you know, players coming off the game or leaving the game or whatever, they definitely know they got to knock these like big promos out of the park. At least I feel like they definitely have to. So team of the year being one of them, future stars being one of them, and eventually team of the season, right? So yeah, I'm excited for it. And Fans de Foot, who is a French Twitter account that, you know, tweets out leaks and stuff like that, and I tweeted out in French something, and I'm no Einstein, but I think I can figure out what he's saying here. Le downfall des winter wildcards est terrible. He says the downfall of winter wildcards is terrible, and he's right. I don't get what the deal was with just throwing away winter wildcards like the last team. I mean, what was the goal behind having 3 teams if the third team there was basically no content all week? Does anybody have any idea why that would be the case? I mean, why did we get a third team when there's nothing new about it at all? I'm not sure, but yeah, the market continues to fall right now. If you got cards that are pretty expensive, it continue to drop a little bit, like Gold Mbappe. We saw yesterday was 1.61. I think we saw yesterday is now 1.579. This once again is all just because of panic for team of the year, and it's probably going to continue. Center back Lev Yashin 902, he continues to fall. Franck Ribery 699, he continues to fall. Basically, the questions around investing right now are not going to be in cards. They'll be on team of the weeks and they'll be on fodder, right? We talked yesterday about fodder. Let's go look at team of the weeks though. We haven't talked about this much on the channel, but team of the weeks are one of the best ways to really invest right now, and they are sitting at 31,000. So there is a chance that if we do see that 83-10 return once again, they're going to go back up again, right? It seemed to me like EA have sort of maybe possibly are trying to get out of having everything just in fodder requirements and adding a team of the week to like an 83 or 84 rated squad to then just, you know, boost that coinage up rather than require an 85 rated squad. That's what it seems like they've liked to do recently. Now, team of the weeks, of course, could be technically a risky investment because if they decide for some reason to not require team of the weeks anymore out of the blue, their floor is obviously 10K, right? I don't think that would happen. But, you know, I think that's kind of what they like. They like the fact that the floor is so much lower right now on these investments compared to fodder, especially because obviously those right now are pretty much on the floor, right? It holds people off of buying when you see team of the weeks being 30,000. Yes, they've been a lot more expensive than that recently, but you know they can be 10K. And I still think right now, with the way things have been going, team of the weeks being 30K is pretty low. And you actually probably could get some good deals on team of the weeks if they actually are 30K, or are they like 31? Okay, so if it's been wrong, like 32,000. Or 32,000. You can get some deals there at 32, and that's still low, right? When the A310s first came out, and we had, I think, a Gamble SBC, they were up to 44, I want to say, at one point. So, I mean, it's literally going to be a great investment until EA determined that it's not, right? Until EA decided to stop requiring team of the weeks in anything, these will be a fantastic investment. And, you know, if you're holding the bag when they stop requiring it, you're going to be unhappy. But as of right now, I don't see why they would stop that. And I saw some of you in the comments asking for like specific buy times for things, and I like to try to do that more often. If you wanted to buy team of the week cards, I would probably look to buy them after marquee matchups today, potentially. Because I would assume that we're not going to get much content today. Thursdays, we don't usually get much, and marquee matchups will come out today. It should be a decent day to buy these, actually. So I would look at pretty much all team of the weeks around that time. But all right, let's get into the comments now. And by the way, the videos have been doing great recently. So that's all you, and thank you all for that. And I love having this part of the video now, because then I can just talk to you guys more often, right? At Dominic McDonald says, I think the reason for there being no goalkeeper evos is because there is no way to complete objectives to increase their stats. Example, for a winger evo, you have to to get a goal and an assist in 3 different games. And I understand that. I definitely do. I just think that if they really wanted to bring a goalkeeper evo out, like, they'd figure out something. Like, do we really think they can't figure something out? They got to be able to figure something out. Even if the objectives are just, hey, keep a clean sheet, win games, you know, whatever. I feel like if they really wanted to do something, they could. Your reasoning definitely makes sense. I just think that EA, they can figure something out, right? Or maybe I'm just giving them way too much credit. At Jake Paul 1828, at Jake Paul, Jack Paul 1828. When will Team of the Year cards be cheapest? Last year they rose after the full team release, and Rusty replies, says probably 3/4 through the release. Once you can't pack Team of the Years anymore, they'll go through the roof. Well, that's part of it. That's more of like a low-key part of it. The real part of it is because people end up opening packs for Team of the Year, and by opening packs, you have the store packs, plus everybody's opening their saved packs. You get a massive influx in coin supply, basically, which causes the market to rise. The whole market to go up. Team of the Years as well. Let's go look at Bellingham last year. Like, what did his graph look like, right? We looked at it a couple times. He comes out on the 22nd of January, ends up at his lowest point on Thursday. Then after Thursday, you know, he goes flying, right? And that's not an odd trend last year. This is a trend we see pretty much every year. And then you end up wanting to buy right about here, right? So we'll do that same thing again, or we'll look to do the same thing again, buying probably a couple days after the release. I think the full team came into packs, I want to say maybe on that Friday even. And you would think, okay, the full team's coming into packs. They're going to be a lot of, you know, Bellinghams being packed. Well, that wasn't the case. There were more Bellinghams being packed, but also the coin supply is just crazy at that point. And we saw a massive market rise. So that should happen again. I would assume next year, going to be probably like a couple days before the full team is out in packs. That's usually when you want to buy. Percy says, because it is community voted, there's a big chance Puteas does get one. And I don't know what they're going to do with like Team of the Year voting. I don't know if it's going to be a fully fan voted thing, because if that is, then I do wonder if, yeah, we see like a Hansen and we see a Puteas, right? I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll have to wait and see. At Usman's right hand 4284 says, straight up sucks that the gameplay this year is honestly ass and no one is being held accountable for an unfinished game. Well, this is what happens when you own a monopoly on all football games, right? This is just what happens. They basically make an unfinished game, which this game is unfinished, and it was unfinished for a few months. You can still claim it's unfinished, but you know, it was very buggy for the first couple months there, and it wasn't like a huge thing because where else is everybody gonna go? I mean, seriously, where else would you go if you want to get your football fix, right? This is why we need things like UFL. We need things like goals. Even if the games aren't as great, they don't look as graphically amazing, they're not going to, okay? Like, UFL and goals are not going to look graphically amazing. Like, they're just not going to, but they can work their way up if the game plays fun, and they have all the players' rights, and that's really what matters the most. But once again, I want to remind everybody that if UFL comes out and goals comes out, and it's like, oh my god, this game sucks, it's not FIFA, then you hop back on FC24, and you're complaining about EA all day, well, you're not doing any good. You're doing no good for anybody. At Ricardo Perez says, have you considered doing an RTG? I'd tune in. The problem with RTGs nowadays, they're just so overdone. I want to create a content path for myself that's outside of just, you know, daily market, daily video stuff, like including those things. Like, obviously these videos would never change, but adding more on top, I don't know what I would do exactly, but I don't know if it'd be like an RTG. Yeah, I think that it'd be fun. I just think that RTGs are kind of a thing of the past, but something along those lines that isn't quite that might be something that I'd think about for sure. At Crazy Lackstar says, I buy FIFA every year and I usually only last about a month, give or take, so I guess you could call me a casual. Although this is the longest I've played the game ever. I really think EA's approach this year was to make the game more casual friendly for the lower skilled players, me, to make it more enjoyable. I think that's why you've been seeing so many streamers this year complain about gameplay. And it's kind of a couple things with this. So I do believe that, yes, there are gameplay elements that have really, they've been trying to make it more casual, right? The auto defending and the pressure stuff is clearly a way to help people defend, right? That's obviously, why else would that exist in the game? I'm glad you're having fun, by the way. Like, that's awesome that you're having fun, and you don't usually on FIFA past like a month or so. But there is a way to make a game that has a skill gap and is still casual friendly. Like, we've seen that a million times before. We've seen Call of Duty, we've seen Fortnite, we've seen all these games exist and blow up to a peak that are casual friendly and have a skill gap. And this game does have a skill gap, but it's just lower than it used to be. So yes, they are making, they're tailoring the game more for someone like you, but at the same time, there's a solution that is out there that is not only good for the casuals, but it's just good for everybody. And listen, I'm not saying I have all the right ideas, but I also do not have $1 billion. So I would expect the $1 billion company to come up with some decent ideas to try and help with that. Listen, they have done a decent job at satisfying the hardcores past, like, you know, I want to say like the radioactive promo, was it? And satisfying casuals. Like, I don't want to just shit on them completely here, but at the same time, I do feel like they could be doing more. And I think most of you guys probably agree with that. I think we should praise them when they're doing something good and also call them out for not doing enough. And I reply to this comment, you know, I'm genuinely curious, how has this game been more casual friendly? I feel the game is the most toxic and sweaty that it's ever been. I can't imagine a casual enjoying this. And the game definitely has been more casual friendly just in terms of, yeah, the gameplay stuff. And Dimitri says down here, you know, automatic defending and pressure tactics, right? That's helped with the casuals. But at the same time, SBMM helps nobody. So, you know, when you go to friendlies and you have SBMM and you go to FUT champs, you're not that good of a player and you kind of probably don't qualify every single time. You go to division rivals and you play your own skill level. I mean, when do you have like a game that you're better than somebody else? Even the lower skilled players, when there's open matchmaking, will find players who are not as good as them and have games where they easily win. But if you combine SBMM plus the FUT Champs qualification, if you're not that good, I mean, you just are playing against people constantly that are either as good as you or just better. And that's it. So that's why it just helps nobody. People think SBMM really helps the low-end players, but it kind of at the same time doesn't at all, because they won't get the experience of being better than somebody because they'll only play players their skill level or play players that are better. So listen, it's a whole debate on all of gaming right now, the SBMM circle jerk that's going on that every game developer thinks is a fantastic idea. The game devs just seem to not understand that that is not a good idea. I could talk about that for a long time, but anyway, thank you once again for watching every day. Subscribe if you're new. I love you all. See you next video very soon. Peace.